WrestleMania 4. WrestleMania 4. What is it that I remember most about WrestleMania 4? To me, WrestleMania 4 was one of those pay-per-views. While, yes, a good majority of the card was not that great, I can admit that. It was, though, a show that you remember for the tournament. Randy Savage, DiBiase in the finals, just Savage with the championship and the Mega Powers combining and all that stuff. That's the stuff that I remember the most about this tournament. I'd like to welcome you guys. This is, obviously you can see, this is a special edition of the Best of the Best countdown. This is me counting down my top 10 WrestleManias. And that's what I'm doing here. My top 10 WrestleManias. And it took me a minute to really figure out what are my favorite WrestleManias. Going back, well, what is it I memorize the best? What is it that I think of when I put this list together? And obviously, WrestleMania 4, Trump Plaza Hotel and Casino, Randy Savage in that championship tournament, Hogan and Andre, 3, everything that came with this tournament, Bret Hart and Bad News Brown and that Battle Royal. It all just kind of, it stood out to me. All of it did. That's what I remember most about this particular WrestleMania. Every WrestleMania on this list has something that stuck out to me, something that resonated with me, that stuck with me throughout my life, that I can honestly say that this is worthy of being on my 10 WrestleManias. It may not be the best of the WrestleManias, but it's one that just stood out amongst all the rest for me, for whatever the reason may be. Now, I did attempt this a few years ago, and it didn't quite work out. I got, 3 in, maybe, and then that was it. You guys can go. There's a playlist of my top 10 WrestleManias, but I never finished it. And there's actually going to probably be a few that aren't on there, that were going to be on there that are on this, and some that weren't going to be that now are, because I can go back and reassess it and all that stuff. Now, this isn't exactly retro rewind. Yeah, I'm reviewing these, but not in the exact same fashion that I would. This is just more of my thoughts, more or less, on the event itself while giving you the results of a match. So it's a little different. It may not seem that different, but in my brain, it's different. This was a long show with a lot of matches, so I'm going to try to keep this as short as I can when giving you guys the results, because I don't want to be here for 2 hours. I don't think anyone wants to sit for 2 hours while I blab about who was doing what, so on and so forth. I'm pretty sure that you guys don't. I'd be shocked if anyone wanted me to. But yeah, this is my special edition. This is number 10, WrestleMania 4. So, before I get into that, I'll go ahead and I'll give you guys all the information. As you guys can see on the sidebar over here, you got our Twitter, YoBroGaming1. You guys can go there, follow us on there, tweet with us. You guys will get up-to-the-minute info on Twitter. I'm more on Twitter now than I used to be. You guys can also go to Facebook, facebook.com/YoBroNation. You guys can also, if you want to donate, there's a few ways you can do it. You can go to StreamLabs. That's YoBro Gaming Reviews on StreamLabs. Also, you guys can go to our Patreon. Patreon.com/YoBroNation. You guys got 6 tiers to choose from. Lots of different things. This week coming up, because this is supposed to be when it's supposed to be, but it's actually late. I'm recording this late. Sickness is a killer. You guys get group chat in the Discord for the $1 tier. You guys can also do the Ask Us Anything Q&As. I'm going to schedule one as soon as I know people want me to. Behind the scenes vlogs. You also get AEW reviews. As soon as AEW, like Double or Nothing, that will be exclusive to Patreon. Maybe Double or Nothing will be something that I do on Patreon, and then later on the regular channel. We'll see. Monday Morning Creative, that will come back next week. Retro Rewind reviews. You guys will get early access to those. Best of the Best Countdown, get early access to that too. Just not right away. Post-show videos. That will probably be this week. I'll probably do a post-show video after the Elimination Chamber. That will probably be this week. That will be exclusive to the channel, live for just people to go on there. And I don't know, I'll just chat about whatever. Probably more stuff about the pay-per-view. Who knows? You guys can vote on Retro Rewind. That will start soon. Speaking of Retro Rewind, it will be on the channel this week. The list that you guys can vote on is on there's a link on Facebook. If you guys go to Facebook, it's also on Twitter. It's pinned to the top of my page. You guys can go and vote. You guys got, there's 4 options to choose from. I don't remember. Living Dangerously, Super Brawl 99, I believe. In Your House 13, which is Final 4, which had Austin, Brett, Sid, and Taker. That's on there, and there's like one other. I can't remember. Oh, yeah, No Way Out 2000. Those are 4 options. You guys can go there and do that. Look, if it's your birthday and you're a $10 and up Patreon member, you guys get gifts. Well, if you're $10 and even, $10 and up, you'll get a gift. Whether it be a t-shirt or bag or phone case or whatever it is that you guys want, that will be available. That's on the Patreon. That goes to our TeePublic store. You guys can do there. You also become co-producers and co-executive producers. With that, you get credit on all of my videos. You guys will get to have input on what we do with the channel, how we are going to produce some certain things. You guys will get all that sort of input depending on which one of the 2 tiers you will have. You'll also be VIP members of the Discord, which also makes you monitors in the Discord group. The Discord, of course, is another one. That's YoBro Nation for Discord. All that stuff's going to be down in the descriptions. But look, if you don't want to do Patreon, which if you don't want to, not a big deal. TeePublic.com/YoBroNation1. You guys can go there and buy our shirts, buy our merch. We got bags, we got phone cases. They're going to be adding hats to the website. Really good material, nice shirts. I'm getting more. I'm getting that classic YoBro Gaming and Reviews t-shirt because I really just want to wear that around just so people can be like, what is that? Well, search it on Google or on YouTube and you'll find it. It'll be fun. Fun stuff. But that's all that stuff. You guys can go. You can get it. And, just do all that stuff. All of it. So, that's where you guys can find all that stuff. So, yeah. Like I said, I'm not going to keep this too long because there's a lot to go over for this pay-per-view. Just WrestleMania 4 and all. It wasn't the first WrestleMania that I watched. Of course, this is WrestleMania 4. It's number 10 on my countdown. It took place in Atlantic City, New Jersey at the Trump Plaza Hotel and Casino on March 27th, 1988. Man, it was the first time that a championship had been vacated in the history of the World Wrestling Federation. And they decided to do it in a big man tournament. Now, how did the championship become vacated, you ask? Well, of course, you had Hogan versus Andre at WrestleMania 3, and they had a rematch the following year in February on Saturday Night Main Event. DiBiase had been trying to buy his way into the championship for a while, and he finally got Andre to say, if I win the championship, I'll give it right to you, and it'll be my pleasure. Well, he won the championship as they put the fake referee, the fake Hebner, was in the ring and made a count even after Hogan had lifted his shoulders. And then within minutes, DiBiase had the belt. Now, DiBiase walked around with the title for, I think, a couple of weeks. And then they announced that the championship was being held up and would be vacated. And then they announced that the championship tournament would happen. And that's where they would go. I'm going to have to... There we go. Better. I'm all out of frame. So that's what they decided they wanted to do. it was a very good setup. You know, I liked the fact that it built from WrestleMania 3 to this point. It was nice. You know, they don't do long-term booking like that anymore. Oops. My apologies. Just moving stuff around. I have a small desk. I'm working with it. But that's how they set up. I liked the intro to this show. The slot machines and the coin intro with the WWF coins flopping up, and you saw the WrestleMania logo come up like a slot machine. For 1980s graphics, it was really nice. You had Mean Gene Okerlund in the ring. This would be the only time you'd see him in the ring. Introducing everyone, welcome to WrestleMania 4. And the New Jersey crowd was very hyped. Donald Trump was in attendance. His wife at the time was in attendance. Some of his security or whatever, they were there. Friends, whoever they were. They had Gladys Knight do the song America the Beautiful, mixed in with the Star Spangled Banner. So she mixed them in. I believe it was she mixed in the Star Spangled Banner. I can't talk. The Star Spangled Banner in with that. And it was good. It was a nice performance. No music, just her. Your commentary team was Jesse the Body Ventura and Gorilla Monsoon. They are personally my favorite duo outside of Heenan and Monsoon, and obviously JR and King. I did have a small place in my heart with commentary teams with Mike Tenay and Taz when they were in TNA. I did kind of have a special place in my heart for those guys. So yeah, they talked about the big battle royal. Bob Uecker came up. He's there. We knew that Vanna White was going to be there. And his whole shtick was, meeting Vanna, getting to talk to her. She's been looking for me, and I'm here to talk to her. And Bob Uecker, who was at WrestleMania 3, made his sequel appearance for a WrestleMania. It would be his last, I'm pretty sure. I don't think he was at WrestleMania 5. But he did good. He was good in his role. His comedic timing was perfect. I don't think he ever appeared in any comedies. The man should have. He was really good in that role. But they didn't kick off with the tournament. Instead, they started off with the Invitational Battle Royal, which was pretty much everyone who wasn't already involved in a match or involved in the tournament were in this Battle Royal just so I guess they could get their WrestleMania payday. Now, I have the list of everyone who was in this, and I will read it off to you. Obviously, the Hart Foundation, the Fabulous Rougeaus, Bad News Brown, the Junkyard Dog, the Young Stallions, Sika, Danny Davis, Killer Bees, Sam Houston, Ken Pantera, Hillbilly Jim, Harley Race, King Harley Race, George the Animal Steel, Bert Zukoff, Ron Ball, and Nikolai Volkov. They were all in this match. First off, George Steele never even got in the ring. Never even got into the ring. This was your typical Battle Royal, the Battle Royals then, you didn't have those high spots where people like being tossed in these crazy bumps and stuff like that. This was just people barely, they just fall out of the ring and, standard bumps because it was bigger men back then. A lot of these guys were older and already been in wrestling since the 70s or, they were already older veterans at this time, just swapped up from territories. The standout of this match was Bret Hart. Obviously, it was Bret Hart. That's my opinion, obviously. But, you had Steele on the outside pulling people out. Some guys just double teaming. The teams, you didn't really see a lot of teamwork with the teams. This was very much an every man for himself type of environment. Your final four, though, were Paul Roma, Bad News Brown, who do I have here? Harley Race and Bret Hart. Right out of the gate, Brown eliminated Paul Roma. Paul Roma was very impressive. He was a part of the Young Stallions, in case you didn't know. Then Junkyard Dog, he's being surrounded by the other three, the other two guys, Bret and Bad News. He's headbutting them. Brown and Bret decide they want to work together. They beat up Junkyard for a while. Then they eliminate him. And then, they're celebrating like, oh, we're going to win together. We'll both carry the trophy, whatever. Bret was being naive, I guess you could say. Bret was naive. And then Bad News Brown just decides to attack him and eliminates Bret. Now, as Bad News Brown is celebrating, this was like his only WrestleMania moment. I don't even think he appeared at the next year's WrestleMania. And Bad News Brown to me was a very underrated wrestler in the WWF at that time. That's just my opinion. You'll hear me say that a lot during this show. Bret comes in, drop kicks him out of the ring basically. He takes the trophy, destroys it, and then he celebrates as he's destroying the trophy. So Bret, who I honestly thought at one point that he won. Like, I remember watching the old gray covers when they did the WrestleMania collection from, I think it was 1 through 14 at that time. I remember seeing Bret in that battle royal. I was like, well, Bret's obviously got to win, right? Bret's going to win this. Well, no, Bret did not win. Obviously, though, Bret would go on and have the bigger career. We know that. So we see Bob Uecker. Backstage, he left to go find, he leaves to go find Vanna White. Jesse's like, I know where Vanna is, but I'm not going to tell him. And Gorilla's like, yeah, probably shouldn't do that. They bring out Robin Leach from Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous. Very, very funny show. Robin Leach in that voice. Champagne something and caviar dreams. I love the man. He comes out to do a proclamation for the championship tournament. He's got this big scroll. He's reading off of it. And then we start the first round. First opening round match would be Hacksaw Jim Duggan versus Ted DiBiase. DiBiase in this tournament, also impressive. But none of these first round matches were all that long. They were all like really short ones. Of course, he had Andre and Virgil with him. As you know, Andre was basically his hired guy to help him get the championship. And Hacksaw Jim Duggan, man, even way back in then, America, I didn't see much. Okay, this is going to be a hot button topic. This is going to be my what did you just say moment. This is gonna be one of those that are gonna piss people off. I never really got into the Hacksaw Jim Duggan thing. The whole, oh, America, just the guy's in the Hall of Fame. And I know people are probably like, well, he deserves it. I mean, he was Hacksaw. Yeah, but what did he do in the WWF, or in WCW for that matter, to warrant a Hall of Fame? I'm not saying the man was a bad wrestler. I'm not saying that he wasn't entertaining. Not everyone needs championships to get over. Hacksaw is one of those guys. But I just don't see what the man did to warrant it. I don't see it. I just don't see it. My bad. Hate me, I guess. I don't know. I just don't see what he warranted to get that opportunity, I suppose. I don't know. But, yeah, Hacksaw with the advantage. Lots of posing with his... That's my Hacksaw impression. God, I'm horrible. I'm a horrible human. I'm going to hell. Hacksaw, of course, uses power. DiBiase, he's trying to, get an advantage. Elbows to the head. DiBiase finally got the advantage with Hacksaw making a comeback. Hacksaw, he's building momentum. Like I said, these are short matches. I'm going to try to get through them as quickly as I can. I'm not going to super talk about them because there's a lot to go over, and I don't want to stay here for 2 hours going over this stuff. Sets up for his 3-point stance. Gets his leg grabbed by Andre, and Andre, very involved in DiBiase's matches during this night. Ends up grabbing the leg. He gets hit from behind by DiBiase. DiBiase hits him with a fist drop. Just a simple little fist drop. 1, 2, 3. And now DiBiase is moving on to the quarterfinals of this tournament. And DiBiase, he gets a few breaks during this show. And, it's not your typical, I have to hit my finisher, sleeper hold. No, DiBiase doesn't ever use his sleeper hold. I liked the fact that they didn't go with the sleeper, all those guys hitting their finishers. They found other ways to win, which you would think in a real life aspect, you're not going to hit your finisher every time. You're going to find whatever means you can, and DiBiase definitely did that. Mean Gene interview says the words. He's interviewing Brutus the Barber Beefcake. Looks at him and says, "Whoa, what a package!" And I'm like, gay? Maybe they were insinuating something. But he's there. with his shears, doing his craziness. Of course, we all know Beefcake was where he was because who he's friends with. Basically says he'll be the new Intercontinental Champion, and he's going to give him a haircut. Snip, snip, snip. Whatever. It is what it is. Next first round match. Dino Bravo with, what's his name? I can't even read it. Frenchie Martin versus Don Morocco, who was with Billy Graham. Don Morocco had just become a face recently under the tutelage of Billy Graham. And the entire time you'd see Billy Graham, both matches, Jesse just keeps talking about, like, that's the man I trained. That's the man I trained. And then it's like, yeah, but he won a championship and you didn't. Shut up, Jesse. Shut up, Jesse, pretty quick. This was just a big man match. It was slow, methodical. These guys were just like, power for power, and who's just the bigger and the stronger of the two. Morocco working on the leg of Bravo. Bravo used Morocco's move. The pile driver tried to get the win. Went for the move again. It was countered. The ref got caught in between the two men. Actually, Bravo pulled the ref in front of Morocco, and he got hit and taken down. Bravo ends up being disqualified after he hits his side suplex. The ref tapped him on the shoulder. He's making the cover. Nope. Disqualified him. This was probably one of the worst matches of the first round. Definitely takes the show down a notch. I'm all for a big man match, but back in the 80s, half these guys were just bodybuilders who they brought in. Hey, you're good. Let's show you some basic wrestling moves, and we'll go through. Because we all know Vince loves his beef. We all know that. Vince loves his beef. Bob Uecker backstage to interview the Honky Tonk Man. Talks about how he's still searching for Vanna, that she was just around the corner. Insults, Jimmy Hart, insults the Honky Tonk Man, and then Honky Tonk Man talks about his baseball career, basically insults him. I need a drink. My stomach's hurting. I haven't ate breakfast yet. Oh, man. Get our next match. Ricky Steamboat versus Greg the Hammer Valentine. Steamboat coming out with his kid. Cute little kid. His wife was out there with him. A lot of back and forth. A lot of back and forth with these two guys. Steamboat, obviously, to me, the better wrestler of the two. It showed. It showed a lot during this match. I'm going to set this stuff up so I'm not staring down over here the whole time. Yeah, Steamboat was the better wrestler of the two during this match. Valentine, the veteran, the older of the two guys, still a really good ring veteran, was still very, very good at what he was doing. Valentine, though, had control. Steamboat kept trying to fight back. A lot of chops back and forth, a bunch of near falls. Valentine went for his figure four. Steamboat was able to fight out of it. Valentine, though, finally, with the old school veteran move, finally gets him caught up in a schoolboy, holds the tights, gets the 3 count. Obviously, Steamboat, then he's upset after the match. Steamboat, who should have won, did not. Valentine advances, which they even say later in the show was not expected. They didn't think that's what was going to happen. Mean Gene Okerlund interviews with the British Bulldogs, Dynamite Kid and Davey Boy Smith, along with Coco Beware, and they had Matilda, who was stolen by the Islanders, which set this up. It says they're going to go weasel hunting. And that's just basically the promo was cut on him and stuff. So that's what it was. Just them basically cutting promos on Mr. Heenan. Next first round match. The Natural Butch Reed with Slick, one of my favorite managers there ever were, versus Randy Savage with Miss Elizabeth. Savage, who had just turned face not too long before this, part of the Mega Powers. Ooh, yeah. Huge ovation for Savage and Liz. I think more so for Liz. Obviously, Butch Reed, the stronger of the two. Savage, using his quickness. Reed in control, wearing down Savage. Savage makes a comeback with elbows, clothesline. I can't speak today. I need to take my medicine. Randy Savage gets clotheslined out of his boots by Reed. Savage does some reversal and a slam, hits his flying elbow drop, gets the 3 count. This was a quick match. This was like, I mean, all these first round matches were like less than 5 minutes except for maybe one. It was an okay match. None of these first round matches were going to blow your shoes off. It's just, here's what happened, and Savage would move on. Savage having the longest road of the night out of any of the finalists. Bob Uecker again. Still talking about Vanna White. Has Heenan and the Islanders. Says Matilda is back and he's in trouble. Heenan, just like, no, it's blah, 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 Matilda. Stupid, vicious dog, bad dog, needs to be put down, blah, blah, blah. And then insults Uecker about his non-Hall of Fame career. One-man gang was Slick versus Bam Bam Bigelow in the first round. He was with someone, I don't remember who he was. Red, long hair, bug eyes, ugly suit. One-man gang, right out of the gates on the attack. Bam Bam making his comeback. Bam Bam Bigelow, back in the day, was super agile. He's doing cartwheels and flips off the ropes and the dude was very agile. He's fighting. It's just another big man, another slow match with the exception of Bam Bam doing his agility. Big headbutt by Bam Bam. He runs the ropes. Slick interferes, grabs the ropes. Bam Bam goes flying out of the ropes, almost lands on his damn head. There's some like chatter between the referee and Slick. Gets really confusing. Bam Bam gets back in the ring, goes to fight with One Man Gang, attacks him, and then the ref rings the bell and says that Bam Bam was counted out, therefore One Man Gang is going to continue. Like I said, very confusing. Even Jesse and Monsoon were like, what happened? So, what happened with my high voice? So, One Man Gang, he gets to move on. Mean Gene Okerlund interviews Hulk Hogan. Well, let me tell you something, Mean Gene. He talks about how he used to be the champ, how he's had all the little Hulksters for a year, asking him, Hogan, is the rumors true? Was there a controversial 3 count? Did you really slam the Giant brother? All that stuff. He talks about Trump being a Hulkamaniac, and, as he slams Andre again, the fault's going to break, and people are going to fall into the ocean, and, letting go of their materialistic things, such and such. Your General Hulk Hogan, everyone on the largest back in the world, now dog palace the shore, brother. Whatever. I like old Hulk Hogan. That's the stuff I remember growing up with, was seeing Hulk Hogan and Mean Gene, their interviews, whether it been Saturday Night Main Event or any of that. That's what I remember watching with my aunt. I think that's the reason I loved wrestling so much, is just Hulk Hogan. Even when I finally started watching it full time and seeing him as a bad guy with, the NWO, I just loved it. I just loved it, brother. Loved it. Rick Rude versus Bobby Heenan versus Jake the Snake Roberts. This was also a first round match. The winner of this was supposed to face One Man Gang. This match went the entire 15 minutes. Very good match, but a slow match. I guarantee you half this match was Rick Rude putting Jake the Snake in a headlock and just kind of wearing him down. But both men, very good performance. Back and forth, Jake taking the advantage. Back and forth. Rick Rude want nothing to do with Damien. Damien, if you don't know, it was the snake that Roberts had. Rude able to evade the DDT. I'm telling you, I think I have a stuttering issue. I really do. I really think that I have stuttering issues. And again, Rick Rude, just headlocks, just keeping Jake in there. Rude in control. Finally, Jake fights out of the headlock, does his series of punches, starts building momentum. These guys go back and forth a little bit more. Rude goes for a cover, and the bell rings. Jake went for the DDT. It was blocked again. The bell rings, and both men lose via draw. Jake goes ahead. He's going to draw out, or pull out Damien, and Heenan, who's the manager of Rude. They both take off. So that gives the One Man Gang a bye going into the quarterfinals. So now we know the One Man Gang is automatically in the semifinals. Mean Gene Okerlund again interviews Vanna White. Okay, look, I loved Wheel of Fortune. Watched it with my grandma, Vanna White, flipping those letters, numbers, whatever was up on the board. Pat Sajak, Vanna White, Wheel of Fortune. Loved it. Just like I loved my Golden Girls. Y'all can laugh at me. I loved Golden Girls. Put that on Twitter. She had to sound like the most robotic person. Thank you. I love being here. Oh, it's so wonderful. Oh, I'm all about Hulk. Very excited and having a great time. And she makes her picks. She's picking Hulk. She's picking Savage. Oh, Elizabeth. Oh, she just looks so great. I love her dresses. Just saying. I mean, obviously, Vanna White was one of the bigger celebrities in the 80s. But this was not the biggest celebrities these people would have. So these were like their B celebrities, right? They couldn't get their big stars, their Ozzy Osbournes, or their Alice Coopers, or their Sylvester Stallones, or someone like that who was really big in the 80s. They got Vanna White, who was a TV host, who was, by all rights, big in the 80s, but she was not an A celebrity, okay? Let's just be real, okay? She was not an A celebrity. As I fix this, I'm literally trying to fix myself. I don't know why I'm not as centered. I don't know. That's better. I feel better now. Where am I? Okay. So we get Hercules, the mighty Hercules, with Bobby Heenan against the Ultimate Warrior. This was not a first-round match. Jake and Rude were the final first-round match. I forgot to say that. This was, oh my god, this was obviously, to me, the worst match. The worst match of the entire night. This was just these two guys seeing who was stronger. Warrior was never good in the ring. But the guy was super over, had that high intensity, that high energy. Just, the fans loved the dude. And women were just, oh my god, Warrior, oh! Even my mother, god, she would always talk about the Warrior. And, oh my god, he's so sexy. So sexy. The Warrior is so sexy. These guys, they fight to the outside, just big shots, a lot of, big power moves, and then the match ends sloppily. You get the full Nelson put on by Hercules on the Warrior. Warrior uses the ropes, push himself back, tries to kick out, but gets a 3 count, and then Hercules loses. And then they keep brawling, and Hercules is choking with the chain, but Warrior just throws him chain. The feud continued. I give this match -1. -1 stars out of 10. It sucked. It sucked that bad. It really did. They did a recap of Hogan versus Andre and their history going back before WrestleMania 3 to WrestleMania 3, the Saturday night main event up to this moment. Good little package. Nothing major. Ooh, great package. Hogan versus Andre, Andre, of course, with DiBiase and Virgil. This match was, okay, to put into context, I'm not going to shit on this match too much because I understand. Hogan obviously was going to look better. He's the big baby face. Everyone loves Hogan. I get that. Not a big deal to me. I got to adjust my seat. I hate this bench. I need a big old nice cushion back here. But Hogan and Andre, they're fighting. But Andre, at this point, although he would still wrestle for a couple more years, was already just so slow, in so much pain. He didn't really move around a lot. You could tell he was in a lot of pain, even at this point in the career. So it didn't make for his matches to be very good. So they kept his match limited, obviously. Even when he's interfering in matches later on, he's so stoic. He's just kind of there. He's not doing a whole bunch. He's just, I'm here. I'm not moving. It is what it is. That's just how it went. But yeah, Hogan versus Andre. So Hogan, he runs to the ring after doing some posing in the aisle, gets to the middle of the aisle, runs to the ring. Andre just, ooh. And then when Andre's doing moves, trying to hurt him, Andre's grabbing the ropes and just kind of falling and picking himself back up. Super slow. You could, again, Andre was in pain, and you could tell. This is the first quarterfinal match, by the way. Hogan doing his comeback, takes down DiBiase and Andre. Andre gets, when Hogan's down, rather than get up, he just grabs Hogan by the throat and just starts kind of choking him. Hogan makes another comeback. DiBiase gets involved with the chair, hits Hogan. Really doesn't do nothing to Hogan. Both men are hitting each other with their chairs. They both get a double disqualification. It's a draw. Then Hogan chases after Virgil and DiBiase. Gets a hold of Virgil, because DiBiase kind of threw him in the way. Suplexes him, kind of. Like Hogan wasn't going to take the bump on the outside. He picks up Virgil and just kind of just drops him. People didn't care. It's Hogan. Just let Hogan do what he does. Comes back to the ring. Slams Andre. That's how the match finishes. Oh, my nose itches. So he slams Andre. Hogan poses, and it takes a man and a half to do what he did, and it was funny. Jesse's like, what? Lose? He's like, no, give the fans what they want. And he's like, well, shoot, then I must be one heck of a man because I always give the fans what they want. And he's like, yeah, Jesse, yeah, you do. You'll probably get to pose later. And all Hogan was doing was pose. Like, looking back at it, I and many others really, really do bag on WWE how they pushed Roman or how they're pushing Charlotte. But when you look back, damn if they didn't do it for Hogan. I mean, the man was just a god in the eyes of the company. What he did, he was a god. And I see the frustration. So he's now Roman Hogan. Roman Hogan. Or he's Hulk Reigns in this manner. Because this isn't the last time you're going to see Hogan for the night. And he's going to try to steal that main event spotlight. We're going to see it later. So another interview, this time with Savage, with Okerlund. They talk about the match with Valentine. He also puts over Hogan. He wasn't defeated. He was cheated. And then on and on and on. Of course, Savage saying, that he's gonna win. He's gonna win and defeat Valentine later on in the night. So we get our next quarterfinal match. The winner of this, due to the fact that there was a draw between Hogan and Andre, the winner of this match goes straight to the finals. It's Don Morocco with Billy Graham versus Ted DiBiase without Virgil. He was by himself. Morocco, of course, starts hot, grabbing DiBiase just by the hair, just tossing him around the ring. DiBiase's trying to get out of the ring, and Billy Graham's just like, nope, chases him back to the ring. DiBiase just gets beat up some more by Don Morocco. Don Morocco, another beefy guy, not great in the ring, just big power moves. But DiBiase, he ends up taking control in his comeback. Morocco, he ends up getting some momentum built up again, goes to run the ropes. DiBiase counters, he grabs him, just kind of hangs him over the ropes by the throat. Covers him 1, 2, 3. Again, DiBiase using something other than his finisher to win a match. It was a short match. It's not a great match. Most of these matches aren't great, and you're like, well, geez, man, if these matches were so short and not that great, and you're complaining about a lot of stuff, it's because I remember the tournaments, because I remember the finish. That's why it stands out to me. It's why I liked this pay-per-view way more than I did the other ones. So, to me, this was a pay-per-view worthy of being on my top 10 list because of the finish, because of that, because of some of the other things that happened. That's why. Bob Uecker, more Vanna White talk, interviews Demolition, who are new at this point, and they just say that they're going to defeat Strikeforce and Mr. Fuji before he was bald and wearing a kimono. What do you call it? The little outfits that Japanese wear. One Man Gang announced as the winner via a bye. Then you get Valentine versus Randy Savage. Jimmy Hart with Valentine, Liz with Savage. This is a quarterfinal match. The winner will advance to face the One Man Gang. Valentine getting the advantage pretty early. These guys kind of did a feeling out process. Used a lot of dirty heel tactics. Valentine starts working over the leg. Savage starts to build momentum, but Valentine takes control right back. Valentine goes for a figure 4. Savage turns it into a small package for a 1, 2, and a 3. Savage wins barely, which I liked the way they did it. He wins. He's advancing to face the One Man Gang. I like how they booked Savage in this show. I'll talk a lot more about it once I get there, but Savage, yeah, he hit that elbow drop at first, but then he's clawing his way to the finals. I liked it. I liked how they did that. Okerlund and Vanna White, they talk about the brackets, and she's, Hulk Hogan getting a draw. Yeah, but I still like Hogan. He's still the guy, I think. It's like, no, he's not. He's not going to be the guy. He lost. Then she goes on more about Vanna, or more on about Liz. Another match that was just horrible. Another horrible match. Honky Tonk Man with Jimmy Hart and Peggy Sue versus Brutus the Barber Beefcake for the Intercontinental Championship. This match was slow. Very slow match. Not at all like it was one of those matches that this is why I don't think Brutus ever caught on, because yes, he was friends with Hogan, so he still had some preferential treatment, but the guy was still looked at differently than the others. He was still viewed as just, he's not that good in the ring, we'll push him because you're friends with Hulk, but otherwise, man, nope, we don't care. Nope is the answer. Vanna, can I buy a vow? N-O? No. Brutus, takes control. Honky Tonk doing the chicken shit heel sort of stuff. These guys do some back and forth. Brutus gets a sleeper on. Jimmy Hart gets up on the apron, hits the referee with his megaphone. Brutus thinks he won. He's celebrating. Oh, look at me. I won the match. I'm the winner. Ooh. Brutus chases off Jimmy, pulls him from underneath the ring, gets him pinned against the steps, and starts cutting Jimmy's hair. The officials in the ring, other officials are in the ring, they're checking on the referee. Peggy Sue wakes up Honky Tonk Man by dumping water on him. They both roll out of the ring as Brutus tries to chase him with the shears next, and then Brutus is announced the winner via disqualification because of the shot with the megaphone. Honky Tonk Man, he's mad, and you got Brutus the Barber Beefcake in the ring like he just won the championship. Dude, you won by disqualification. I know your face, you're supposed to be a happy face. But come on, man. Come on. You lost. You didn't win the championship. Why are you celebrating? I won by disqualification. Woo! It's like, dude, really? I just could never, again, another hot button topic. I could never get into Brutus the Barber Beefcake. Just could never do it. Most memorable interview, probably in WrestleMania history, because we all remember it, seen in the promo packages, Andre holding Bob Uecker, shaking him. Bob Uecker, this man, is he in the Hall of Fame yet? I think he was inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. I'm pretty sure. But interviewing Andre, and Andre talking about Hogan, Hulkamania is over. Gosh, I loved Bob Uecker, and while Andre just could not speak very good, because he wasn't from here, the French Alps, he broke in English. But, and then Uecker, he's just shaking and choking Uecker. Like, his hands engulf this man's throat, and he's and the way he sells it, it's just hilarious. I love it. I don't even care about the interview itself. It's just the moment is awesome. It's one of the reasons I picked this. It's just one of those things. Bobby Heenan and the Islanders versus Koko Beware. With, oh, it's my sister. What link? British Bulldogs with Matilda. This match was it was a slow match. They didn't really give a lot of these matches time. I think the tag team title match and the main event got the most time, and then Jake and Rude. Those are the matches they got the most time. But Dynamite Kid, he's taking both Islanders, pretty quick. He gets in the ring, takes them both down. Bobby Heenan, he's wearing this dog suit, like the protective suits that you see the police officers with the K9 units that they wear when they're working with the dogs to train them. He's wearing that. Bulk of the work of this is by the Bulldogs and by the Islanders. Even Koko Beware is not in there much. And Heenan, he'll jump in, he'd get a few cheap shots, he'd get back out. You get to the end of the match, Koko Beware, he's in there, he's getting to beat up Heenan. All 6 men end up jumping in the ring. Something happens, I didn't really catch it, but Heenan ends up getting the cover, gets the 3 count. After the match, Heenan immediately starts running as Dynamite and Davey Boy Smith are chasing him, Matilda on the leash. He falls over, cameraman falls down. You see Matilda, he's on him, and it's like she's trying to lick him, but they're trying to make her look like she's vicious. Oh, she's getting Heenan, the weasel hunting, right? And he puts her on her, and Matilda's just kind of like, what? It looked horrible. I mean, it was fun. They're playing it off like Matilda's just going for him, full force. Matilda was probably the sweetest dog. I loved Matilda. It looked bad, but it is what it is. I actually didn't mind it. So then they call for the attention of the crowd to look up at the banner, and Jesse gets to show off and pose, and, oh, you're still in shape, Jesse. Well, damn, the guy's retired, but he ain't dead. Ain't like he's broken. Dude can still go lift. Chill. Hell, Jesse looked good even in the 90s. So he shows off his muscles. They announce Ted DiBiase as the winner via a bye. Then we get the only semifinal match with the one-man gang along with Slick against Savage with Liz. This is the one thing, I haven't brought it up yet. The managers. You had these managers who had their stables, but they weren't stables like you see nowadays. You know, they had their stable of guys that they would manage. And I loved it. You know, you didn't have just, like Paul Heyman is exclusively a Brock Lesnar guy. Why not Paul Heyman having a group of guys? Technically, Cesaro was still a Paul Heyman guy, or at least was. You know, get guys like Paul Heyman and get him multiple managers. Why not let Leo Rush have a group of people? He could have some guys he manages on 205 Live. He manages Bobby Lashley on Raw. Why not? Why not give these guys multiple guys to manage? I liked it. I liked how they used to do that. This was a match where One Man Gang just kind of used his size on Savage, and Savage is trying to use his speed to try to kind of get away from him. But it was a slow, methodical match. Obviously, Savage, who was already into his third match now, with the disadvantage while Gang had only the one match. You get Slick threatening Liz, and then Savage goes after him. Gang attacks him, knocks him down some more, works on him some more. Then he gets Slick's, I think it was his cane, goes to hit Savage. The referee sees it, and Gang gets disqualified. Savage rolls out, and he leaves. This was not a good match, but it still builds to that story with Savage of, Savage scratching and clawing his way to the finals. So Savage is moving on to the finals to face Ted DiBiase, who got the bye. That will be your main event for this WrestleMania. Vanna White ends up going to ringside. Okerlund's going to interview her. It's like, so, we're to the finals. Here's what it is. She's like, thank you, but I got to go to ringside. You still wouldn't appear for like another 20 minutes. Okerlund goes over the brackets. Uker shows up. Where's Vanna? She was just here. No, she just left. What? He's like, do you even know her? Yeah, we've been talking. Someone named Vance White. Let's go back to ringside. I love Okerlund and how he just plays it off like, God, this guy's an idiot. Just go back to you guys. Monsoon, Jesse, take it back. Please, take it back. We get the Tag Team Championship match. Strikeforce, Tito Santana and Rick Martel, underrated tag team, defending their championships against Demolition with their new manager, Mr. Fuji, who's also in the makeup. Axe and Smash, one of the best teams ever. Had one of the longest reigns of any tag team ever. This Demolition was just using their power against Strikeforce, and these guys are trying to use their brain and their speed to keep, kind of keep the things going. Great teamwork by Demolition, a lot of good tag team moves, heel work, just keeping them in the corner, using the referees' distractions to their advantage. I liked it. Axe and Smash, though, they cut Santana off. They keep working him over. Santana finally hits a flying forearm, makes a hog tag to Rick Martel. He cleans house. Rick Martel gets, I believe it was Smash or Axe. I don't know. I can't tell the two apart. Gets Smash or Axe into the Boston Crab. Fuji distracts the referee after after Tito was in the ring fighting off the other one. Fuji distracts the referee. The referee gets kind of knocked down. Here comes Axe the Smash with the cane of Mr. Fuji's. Hits Martel right over the back. Gets Axe covering him. Axe gets the cover. 1, 2, 3. Demolition is your new tag team champions. This was a really good match, given a good, decent amount of time. The psychology of the old school tag team psychology. The heels doing what heels do while the baby faces no, ref, look what he's doing, where they're ultimately hurting their own team by, ref, come on, when if they would just stop and let the ref turn around. And I always looked at that like, well, why? Why aren't you just letting him, ref, do his job? Why are you trying to fight to get in? I understand you're trying to help your partner, but you're hurting your partner more than you're helping your partner. Let the ref do his job. But I liked it. I liked this match. It was definitely one of my favorite matches of the show. Main event time. Finally. Main event time. I don't know. Where am I at? Okay, yeah, I'm not doing too bad. Robin Leach comes out with the belt. Fans are touching him as he's walking down. He's going to present the championship. I would definitely touch it. If I get another replica belt, which I do plan on eventually doing, that's the one. I want that beautiful Winged Eagle belt. I hate this belt that they have now. It's not an ugly belt. The presentation of the title looks nice. It's just, it's not a great looking belt to me. I've seen better belts. This is my favorite belt. This and the Attitude Era belt are my two favorite ones that they had in WWE. And then the Intercontinental Championship is like top tier for me. They're like my favorite titles, the one that they're using now. So Bob Uecker's introduced us a special guest ring announcer. A random member of the crowd. He's got a cigar in his hand. He's wearing a baseball jersey. Comes in and hugs Uecker, and Uecker's like, "Oh, okay." And then he's pulled off, probably kicked out of the building. He's in the ring. He introduces Vanna White. She finally gets in. She's going to be the timekeeper. She was escorted by a flock of police because they were probably worried, oh, God, the crowd's going to like grab her and pull her in and we're going to lose her. Because, yes, Vanna White was a very attractive lady. And it's like my girlfriend, Cheryl, she was even just like, it's not fair. She's not aged. Is that Vanna White? She's never aged. Nope, she hasn't. Plastic surgery buys you a lot of good things. And she's still getting that Wheel of Fortune money. So Uecker's finally able to meet her. She gives him a hug, gives him a kiss. He's just, he's, he's playing it up. The guy was so comedic. I loved it. He was so good at what he did. So he does, it made him like stutter. He's just, I can't even speak right. He's having a hard time speaking. They're playing, Vanna had more effect on him than they thought. Gorilla Monsoon, so good at what he did. He was incredible at what he did. So we got the finals. Andre with Ted DiBiase versus Randy Savage with Miss Elizabeth for the WWE Championship. This match was given a good, decent amount of time. Something I noticed, and I'm pretty sure if I go back, I'm going to see that it happened even after this. The fact that Liz was always opening the ropes and always taking the robe off of Savage. Now, I do know there was a point when Savage was heel and he finally went back to Liz, he started opening the ropes for her. I think but there was a point, Savage was heel, he was like that, he was that dick to her, but then, it became, okay, he appreciated Liz. Whatever. Both men, stellar wrestling in this match. DiBiase, the better wrestler of the two, but Savage was the better entertainer. Savage was the more magnetic personality. Andre, a few times at the start of this, is grabbing his leg. This would play into the finish, with Andre being too involved. Getting a lot of Hogan chants and the crowd looking, is he coming? No, not yet. DiBiase, he's getting the advantage. He's wearing Savage down. Of course, this is Savage's fourth match. DiBiase's had the rest. He's only had the 3 matches at this. This is only his 3rd match, so he's only wrestled twice. This is Savage's 4th. Andre, again, keeps getting involved. Savage is building momentum. Savage has got the top rope. He's going to try to come down with those elbows on the outside, or that hammer. So Savage is like, look, Liz, go to the back. Go get him. Go get the Hulkster. So Liz is returning with Hulk Hogan, but at this point, DiBiase's already back on top. DiBiase's still working on Savage. He's got him in the corner. Savage is trying to fight out. DiBiase moves away. Andre grabs Savage, trying to pull him down. Hogan comes around. He stops him. DiBiase, of course, still in control. I noticed, look, Hulk Hogan, God, he's a glory hog. Okay, I loved Hulk Hogan in the 80s. But he was a glorified glory hog. He was horrible. The camera kept focusing on Hogan, and the whole thing, even afterwards, it kept going to Hogan during the celebration for Savage. God, it just boggled my mind. Leave him away. I feel like they took away from Savage. I'm getting ahead of myself. So yes, Hogan stops DiBiase. Savage starts making a comeback, starts building momentum, goes for the big elbow drop, that flying elbow drop, misses. DiBiase ends up putting Savage into that sleeper hold. Finally, he's got the sleeper hold on. Andre is like distracting the referee for some reason. Hogan gets into the ring, hits DiBiase with the chair. Savage notices he's down, goes up top, flying elbow. 1, 2, 3. Savage is your new champion. Of course, he celebrates with Liz afterwards. Hogan's celebrating with him. The iconic moment of Savage. It's in the thumbnail. Savage has got Liz up on his shoulder, and he is, he's got her. They're celebrating. It's a beautiful moment. Again, though, the thing that got me is why Hogan. I get the Mega Powers setting up for the future match a year later, but I don't like the fact that Hogan, even in this moment, was the one getting all the credit, was the one getting all of the fanfare, when it really obviously should have just been all Savage. That's my biggest gripe with this main event, but that's not what I remember it for. I remember it because Savage won the tournament, because he fought through 4 matches to become the champion, and they would have that really good year-long run. A full year he got to be the champion, although that year he would be overshadowed by Hulk Hogan in almost every situation. But that's not what I'm here about. I'm here about the fact that Savage had his big night. And this won't be the only time I ever talk about a Savage main event at WrestleMania. But that's it. That is WrestleMania 4. I liked this show. Number 10 I think was a good spot because it wasn't a great show, but it was memorable because of this tournament. It was memorable for Demolition. It was memorable for Hogan and Andre for the 3rd time. The build-up to it, the fact the title was vacant, and it was the first time they did that tournament. And I love tournaments. I don't like the round-robin shit. I know some people we'll do a tournament with the round-robin. No, I like tournaments as they are. So, that's it. That's WrestleMania 4. I want to thank everyone who came in and watched this video. Of course, the number 9 is coming. That will be up later on. This coming weekend, I will probably do 8 and 7, and then we'll do 1 every week after that until we get to the week before WrestleMania, and then you guys will have your WrestleMania fill by that point. So this was it, my best of the best special edition countdown of my top 10 WrestleManias. Thank you, everyone. Of course, go to all of our social media, Twitter, Facebook, Discord. Go to StreamLabs, donate, TeePublic, Patreon. Go to all that stuff. Follow us, like us, share us. Subscribe to the channel. Tell your friends, tell your family. I don't care. More stuff to come, so thank you guys so very much. I am Zach. I was your host, and I will see you guys on the next video. Peace out, everyone. Have a good night.